We all know a happy and relaxed looking dog, or do we? There are often subtle signs that we miss, and that's when our dogs get into trouble. Knowing your dog's body language will keep you, your dog, and others safe because we can intervene before our dog has a reaction. I use a traffic light system for dog body language. Green is a dog that can learn and is approachable. They're in a positive frame of mind. An optimistic dog is really soft and wiggly in their body. They kind of look goofy, their mouth's open, their tongue's hanging out, their tail is lightly swaying back and forth, their ears are relaxed, meaning they're not pinned back or perked up. If they're engaged in play, they'll be really jumpy and they might do some play bows. For dogs whose ears have been clipped or tails have been docked, we might have a harder time noticing the more obvious signs. For a dog in the yellow zone, we have a dog who can go either way. If we ease up, they can go back into the green zone. If we push them too far, they could go into the red zone. Red zone is a dog that's over threshold. They're freaked out, they're panicked, and they're too stressed to learn. When you're in the red zone, you got to get out of there. For a dog in the yellow zone, we have a dog that's in emotional limbo. We need to pay more attention, and they might need our help. Dogs in this state have noticed their trigger. It could be a sound, it could be a smell, something might be happening to them, something we're doing to them that's starting to make them feel uncomfortable. A dog who needs space is doing something called a calming signal. They might sniff the ground, lick their nose, or yawn. If they're a little confused about how they feel, they might start scratching themselves or walk away. Dogs who are starting to worry about their environment will start trying to take more information in. So they might start sniffing a lot or really scanning and looking around a lot. It's very common for them to look away. Signs that they're starting to really feel stressed out are pacing. Their foot pads can become sweaty and you might see footprints on the floor. They might start panting and it might not be very hot. Signs they're close to the red zone and they might react are crouching, stiffening up, and staring. Their mouths might close and they might start getting tension in their brow. Their ears might perk up or they might pin their ears back. Their hackles go up, which is the ridge of hair from their neck to the base of their tail, and they might start looking more fluffy. Whale eye is when their head is turned away, but they're looking at the thing that they're afraid of. They might flag their tail, which means they stick their tail straight up in the air, and they might wag it, but very stiffly. They might stop taking treats. They might not hear you. If they are taking treats, they might take them very roughly. We need to watch our dogs very carefully and see if they're responsive. If our dogs seem really uncomfortable and there's risk they might go into the red zone, then we need to help them in the situation. We can call them by their name in a happy voice. We can walk into their periphery so that they notice us. We can switch our weight so they notice a different pressure on the leash. We can even just put a treat right on their nose to try to lure them away, or we can use our gotcha. Once we've helped our dog out of a stressful situation, or they've just experienced a stressful situation and they're trying to feel better about it, they might do something called a stress shake. What this is it's just exactly what it looks like when your dog is wet and they're shaking water off themselves. They shake in order to release that stressful energy. Shaking is wonderful and we want to encourage it in our dogs. If we don't notice our dogs are in the yellow zone and we don't help them out in enough time, they could go into the red zone, which means they're over their threshold. We probably know this behavior. It's the barking, lunging, growling, snarling, air snapping. They might start running away or even hide. The red zone is a total loss of emotional control, and our dogs are in fight or flight. Dogs in total fear mode might even lose their bowels or urinate. Dogs can also completely freeze, where they actually aren't moving at all. They can also fawn and go on their backs. This is a dog that is totally giving up because they don't feel like they have any options. We need to do everything we can to get our dogs out of the red zone as soon as possible. This could mean doing a gotcha, picking them up, or even sometimes pulling them out of the situation. Once we get far enough away, do a big treat scatter to get them out of fight or flight and into rest and digest. One thing to pay attention to with all the body language, it's not that your dog does just one thing. They usually do a few things at once. So it's also really important to understand when there's a change in behavior. For instance, if your dog is all loose and happy and then they change to being stiff and their mouth closes. Those are signs that their state is changing. They're going from green to yellow, or maybe from yellow to red. Understanding these signals will not only help your dog training, but if you back off when your dog is showing signs of stress, you have a safer dog and you're helping your dog trust you in these tricky situations. Over time, you will become really good at understanding dog body language. You will be able to know when it's time to train or when it's time to create space.